Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
It is Wednesday already, 1:46 a.m., February 20th, and it's really cold outside here in San Antonio. It's in the 40s, or it's been in the 40s all day. And welcome to another episode of the Drew Yari Show. I believe it's episode 70. Wow, 70. And it's pretty late. What happened today was, usually I like to record late because during Wednesdays I like to, I don't like to record early. I probably should start recording early. But basically today I worked early because we had inventory on my job and they scheduled me on Tuesday to take care of the ad items. So I got off, came home, just chilled, watched Smackdown for a bit, which wasn't too bad. Went to the gym, trying to get rid of this belly right here. Picked up the girlfriend, and then came home rather late because she got out rather late. Now I'm recording. Oh, fuck, my words are. I get onto my laptop, I open it. The whole screen is black. Like I log in, I go to my main screen, and the screen's black, so I had to go to a YouTube tutorial on how to, fix your black screen, and it worked. So now I'm here. So, I don't know what to talk about first. Talking about Smackdown, talking about Raw. I guess we can just get into the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that happened on Sunday. Just making sure everything's right. Okay. Alright, I'll just make it brief. I don't want to talk too long. It's late, I'm tired. I'm also kind of hungry. Alright, Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was in Texas, Toyota Center. Texas Podcast Massacre was there. And I'm going to sound like an asshole for saying this. I keep forgetting who's who on that show. Between Mitch and Nate. Obviously Lisa's Lisa. But between Mitch and Nate, I'm not sure who's who. Because their voices still sound the same. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole and be like, because, I don't know if it's just one person that runs the show, because the other person, I sound like an asshole. Like, I don't know who's who on the show. But, one of them went to Houston, or of them, they both live in Houston, all of them live in Houston, because, hence Texas Podcast Massacre. And, one of them ended up going to the Chamber review with their family. They even showed a picture of their kid dressed up as Becky Lynch, which I thought was kind of cute. Speaking of Houston, next year the Royal Rumble will be taking place in Houston, which I will go out of my way. I will try hard. Hopefully I have a better job by that time, or just hopefully I have some good money saved up. But hopefully I have a better job saved by that time. I am willing to make the trip. Houston is not even that far from San Antonio. Let me check on here. My cat is scratching at the door, and I know if I let her in, she's going to want to go out while I'm recording. How far is Houston, Texas from San Antonio?
The drive from San Antonio to Houston.
Hold on, I'm going to let this dumb cat in. She's driving me nuts. Fuck. Sorry, I'm trying to record. Okay. Alright, I'll let her in. Hopefully she just goes to sleep. Oh, she's used to us going to sleep around this time. So she was going crazy at the door. Okay, Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Yeah, Roman was going to be in Houston next year, so if I have some moolah saved up at that time, me and the girlfriend are going to head... What? Are you kidding me? Crazy Cat tried to... Alright, come here. Come here. She's trying to walk on the computer because as I'm recording the show, I'm on our bed. I don't have a nice little office where I can record this show. So for the most part, I have to record on the bed. If the living room is free, I record in the living room. But right now, I'm laying on the bed. I'm on my girlfriend's side. She likes to sleep on this side, so I diverted her to go sleep on my side. Yeah. If I have some moolah saved up for next year, I will definitely make the trip to drive to Texas, or Houston, I mean, which apparently is close to 3 hours. It's according to Google, it's 2 hours and 58 minutes. Yeah, Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. It was this past Sunday. Again, we'll just be brief. Alright, yeah, first match was a pre-show match, Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa. He defeated him to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. It wasn't a bad match. Buddy Murphy, he's kind of like that old school wrestling terminology. You send out one of your better workers out there to kind of wake the crowd up. It seemed like people were already there. Let me rephrase that. It seemed like the arena was already full by the time the match started, or it was like close to being full, which is good because a lot of these pay-per-views, when the pre-show happens and they start the match, it seems like they're just now getting in it. It looks like the crowd is barely getting in to watch this match. I remember, I'm trying to remember which pay-per-view it was. I think it was a SummerSlam where it was the Hardy Boys versus another team, and the match started at 5, and the arena opens at 5. Or the match started like 5:05 or 5:10, and the arena barely just opened. And the Hardys are like wrestling in front of a large arena that's empty. So, yeah, in this match, the crowd looked like the crowd was already about to get full, or the stadium was about to get full, and the match, started, which, good for them. Yeah, Buddy Murphy, I already knew he was going to win this. He's good for that brand. He's a good worker. I can see him keeping that title for a pretty long time, past Mania. I'm not sure of anyone who can possibly beat him. Just to be perfectly honest. But then again, I don't really watch 205 Live, but just judging by the talent that he's been pit up against, I have no clue who could possibly beat him. I mean, they'll probably bring in someone from NXT, maybe, but I don't know. We'll see about that. The first match on the card was the Elimination Chamber Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship, which featured the Boss and Hug Connection, Bayley and Sasha, defeating Carmella and Naomi, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville, Nia Jax, Tamina, the Iconics, and the Riot Squad. This match was 33 minutes. It wasn't that bad. I know a lot of people weren't too crazy about it. Think about these big schmozzes, with multi-man, multi-women, 6-man, 6 women, 8-person, 10-person, 12-person, blah, 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 especially with an Elimination Chamber match. It can either be really, really good or really sloppy. Especially in the women's case, you look at the talent, okay, yeah, Bayley and Sasha, they're passable, they're good. Carmella and Naomi, yeah, I mean, Naomi's good, but Carmella, no. Mandy Rose, she's gotten a lot better. We'll talk about her in a bit. Sonya Deville, to be honest, I haven't seen enough of her, but she's not that great. Nia Jax and Tamina. Nia Jax is probably like the fifth best woman, out of everyone, and that kind of says a lot. Tamina, I'm just waiting for her to get fired already. The Iconics, which they are just terrible. And you got the Riot Squad, which they're not very good at all. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. This I think this match would have benefited if they had added, like a Mickie James to the match. I had the idea of why didn't they make Mickie James and Nikki Cross a team? Why they put Nikki Cross and Alicia Fox as a team? You know what I mean? Like, Mickie James and Nikki Cross. You could have called them Mickey and Nikki. Mickey and Nikki. There you go. That's your team that sells itself. And also, these women tag team championships, they're supposed to be, for all three brands, not just Raw and SmackDown, but NXT as well. So why not bring us some NXT girls? Like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. They're both friends. They both get along. Just put them together as a team. You could have put them in this match. I think this match would have benefited from adding those two choices, because you would have had Mickie, who's a vet, who would have been able to carry everybody in this match, and then you have two girls like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, who are entertaining as fuck. They would have definitely gone for some big spots. Can you imagine Kairi Sane going for that sick elbow drop off of one of the pods? That would have been fucking awesome. But yeah, the match wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was terrible. It felt long because I'm looking at the times. The men's chamber match was about 3.5 minutes longer than this match, but this match felt like it was long. Again, I don't know if it's because of the core group of talent in here that made it seem like it was long, and all the the botches. But yeah, it came down to the Boston Hug connection and the was it Fire and Ice? Is that what they're called? Fire and Desire. There you go. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They were the final two teams. And Sasha Banks slapped on the bank statement to get the win for her team. Bayley and Sasha are now the first ever quote-unquote women's tag team champions, and there you go. Congrats to them. Next match on the card, Smackdown Tag Championships. Usos defeating Miz and Shane McMahon to become the 6-time Smackdown Tag Team Champions. This surprised me. I honestly didn't think the Usos would win, especially judging by what happened earlier in the week. Jimmy Uso was, and this was last week. This actually happened on Valentine's Day. I think it might have happened the night before Valentine's Day. But yeah, Jimmy Uso, if anyone doesn't know, Jimmy Uso and his wife Naomi, they were driving from somewhere. Naomi was driving, and Jimmy Uso was apparently drunk. Apparently, Naomi, I guess, was driving in a one-way, like a zone, and a cop pulled over, and the story is that the cop was kind of being a dick. Jimmy Uso gets out. One thing leads to another. He takes off his shirt and wants to square up with the cop. The cop has a taser, and Jimmy Uso had to spend the night in the old cage. Now, any other company would have punished Jimmy Uso for this. And I'm not trying to say Jimmy Uso is an idiot. I like Jimmy Uso, but he made a dumb decision. Because if you get pulled over by the cops, and the cops being a complete fucking dick, you have to swallow your pride and deal with it, and then drive on, and knowing that you're not going to spend, a night in jail. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, I just got distracted real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I was just for sure the Usos weren't going to win, but then they win. And I know Joey Numbers, he made the statement of, you get arrested. It's kind of a bad message to send to the locker room if you get arrested and then you get rewarded for it. I mean, I don't know if it was already the plan for them to win, because I chose them to win. But I don't know. I agree with Joey. It sends a bad message that, these guys can fuck up. yeah, they'll get rewarded. I don't know. That's just me. For Shane McMahon and Miz, after the match, Miz was, disappointed and pissed off. And then tonight on SmackDown, he pretty much said the same old promo, which is, my dad is disappointed in me. And, I just want to be tag champs again, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's just a hard sell. Again, I know it's wrestling, but come on. Like, sometimes it has to be believable, especially the storylines, because it's like, and we've said this before, we look at Miz's, career, main event of WrestleMania, WWE champion, U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion, tag champion, Money in the Bank winner, has starred in movies, and he's married to an ex-Playboy playmate. It's like, but your dad is not proud of you for that. Your dad's proud of you because you're a part of a tournament, and a part of a pay-per-view, which is regarded as one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. And you're proud of him for that. But I don't know. It was announced that the Usos and Shane McMahon and Miz will wrestle again at Fastlane in a rematch because they apparently got rid of rematch clauses, but I guess since Shane is a wrestler and also quote-unquote now running both brands, he can do whatever the hell he wants. I don't know. It's a weird storyline. Next match, Finn Balor defeating Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush in a handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. Not a very good match. I mean, it was what it was. You kind of expected what happened to happen. I mean, I think it would have been better for Finn if they had let him pin, Lashley, but they love Lashley for whatever reason. They love his muscles. He ended up pinning Leo Rush, and then after the match, Bobby Lashley, I keep saying Bibby. Bobby Lashley, beat the shit out of Leo Rush, and pretty much firing him as his manager. Which, a guy like Bobby Lashley needs a manager. He needs a mouthpiece because he can't talk. When he talks, he sounds like a fifth grader. He has that Brock Lesnar syndrome where he looks physically imposing, but he can't talk. He's a very soft voice. And you need somebody to talk for him. For Brock, it's, Paul. For Bobby, I mean, Leo's maybe not the best choice, but he's a decent choice. So, I don't know. And then later on the night, he reared his face again, which we'll get into that in a bit. Yeah, Finn Balor is a new Intercontinental Champion, which is good, I guess. Next match, Ronda Rousey defeated Ruby Riott by submission in 100 seconds. Literally 100 seconds, a minute 40. It was kind of what you expected it to be because we've been saying this 100 times. There's no chance in hell Ronda's going to lose her title before Mania. And who knows if she's even going to lose her title in Mania. But yeah, this match was quick. As much as I love Ruby Riott, this match was not going to be long. The point of this match was to kind of, further the storyline with her, Charlotte, and Ronda. And that's what happened. Charlotte showed up with her big old titties. I don't know. Charlotte's looking good, lately. I mean, not that she's ever looked bad. I don't know. She just looks really good. I guess she's wearing less makeup. Somebody pointed that out, that she was wearing too much makeup. I think she's wearing less makeup, and she looks fucking good. And it also helps it with her big old titties. That should be the title of this episode, Charlotte's Big Old Titties. I don't know. I might change it to something else because I don't want to get in trouble. But, yeah, she comes out, and then she confronts Ronda. Ronda was wearing a cosplay for Mortal Kombat because she's voicing Sonya Blade, which I guess is better because it's better than her usual outfit where she's constantly having to fix it every 10 minutes or 10 seconds. So that happens, and then Becky's music plays. Or her music doesn't play. She comes out into the crowd with crutches, and then she gets into the ring, and then she starts beating the shit out of both Charlotte and Ronda with her crutches. And then security has to escort her out. The whole crowd goes nuts. I mean, what happened. I mean, it was kind of expected. If anyone thinks that it's going to end up being Charlotte and Ronda, you're on crack. That's all I gotta say is you're on crack. You go to rehab. You take care of this crack problem. Stop spending your money on crack, and see the truth, which is that it's going to be a triple threat. There's no way around it. There's going to be a triple threat, and that's And I hate to sound like Triple H. It's what's best for business. I mean, because when you look at it, Ronda versus Becky, it's a good. I mean, though that sounds good on paper, but you put Charlotte in there, she'll kind of deflect that heat away from Ronda because right now Charlotte is the most hated, superstar in the company and not because people genuinely hate her. It's because she's playing this cunny character, and they're looking at her as taking away Becky's opportunity, and they love Becky. They love the shit out of Becky, and I love Becky too. But let's just be real. She's been over for. She got over in August, and ever since then, she hasn't really wrestled too many matches. I mean, granted, she's been hurt, but she's over, but she's not really doing anything. All she's doing is going on Twitter and attacking Ronda and attacking Charlotte, making appearances, hitting Triple H and Stephanie in the face. So, I don't know. Again, I'm not trashing Ronda. I like Ronda. Not Ronda. Becky, but, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that just proves my point. This triple threat match needs to happen. And if that's the case, that's going to be a main event for WrestleMania. That'll be a good match, actually. You have a lot of back and forth action. You have, and again, I've been saying this for a while. The match sells itself. The Queen, the man, and then the baddest woman on the planet. There you go. There's your WrestleMania main event. And, alright, next match. What's the next match? Baron Corbin defeating Braun Strowman in an all-disqualification match. Why does Baron Corbin still have a job? I'll just breeze through this match because I have no interest in talking about it. Basically, what happened was that Drew McIntyre, his music hits as Braun's about to go for the win, quote unquote. And what's it called? I don't know why wrestlers have this thing about whenever they hear music play, they automatically have to look to the ramp and then don't, break their concentration of who's coming down that ramp. And then someone has to come behind and hit them. And then Bobby Lashley comes out and hits Baron Corbin. Lashley, McIntyre, and Baron form their own, I guess their old group that they had last year. Which is, the perfect combination of useless, even more useless, and can you please fire this motherfucker already? I mean, it doesn't help that he's coming out, that Baron Corbin's coming out looking like an Applebee's waiter. But you're going to give him this hardcore, new metal, heavy music, and have him dress like that to the ring. I mean, supposedly the reason why he wears that is because he doesn't have a good enough body to show off in the ring. Which I guess makes sense, but I don't know. But yeah, this match was what it was. Can Braun Strowman's career be any more dead? His career is done. Like, he's pretty much become a cartoon character now. Kevin Castle said the same thing. He's become a cartoon character. He went from being this badass character, and he just became... I'm trying to think of who he became. I think... Who's the name of the fucking... Who's the monster from the movie Monsters? Or Monsters, Inc.? Was it Boo? I'm trying to think of his character. But, hold on. What's his character? Alright, James Sullivan. That was his name. Sullivan. Yeah, that was pretty much him. He's pretty much Sullivan. He's become this big, scary-looking monster, but he's kind of... He's kind of a fake. He's become a fake monster. He's become pretty much just something to laugh at. He's not intimidating anymore. I mean, again, let me rephrase that. I'm not saying he's a pussy. I'm not saying I can beat his ass because he can just flick me across the room. But it's just, he's not really a top guy. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know who he pissed off. Or, supposedly, the backstage talk is that he gets really, gassed out as soon as he comes back. He's not a Daniel Bryan where he can go out there and, wrestle for like 30, 40 minutes a night. He's a big guy, so he'll come to the ring and he'll be gassed out after like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So I don't know if they're punishing him or if he just has a bad attitude. But, they're feeding him to Baron. And then the very next night on Raw, they open the night with Baron and Braun Strowman, which is like, yippee! We get to see this again because we asked for this classic match, this 5-star classic. It's like, oh my god. I would rather watch snuff porn than watch Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman. Again, I never want to see that match ever again. I never want to see Baron Corbin ever again. Can he just get fired? Can somebody just... Since we're in the age of finding old tweets, since people want to dig up an interview from 1970 with fucking John Wayne and then trying to expose him and ruin his career even though he died ages ago, can someone please try and dig up old tweets of Baron Corbin of him saying racist and homophobic stuff? Please. I'm begging. Like, somebody find that he... that he likes child porn or something. You know what? That's a little too extreme. Or just, I don't know, somebody finds something that he did that was bad so he can get his ass fired. Please, I'm beyond done with him. I don't want to see him on my screen anymore. He sucks. He can't wrestle. He can't have a good match with anyone. He doesn't look intimidating. He can't talk. It's like, just please get rid of him. Yeah, that match happened. Alright, then the main event, Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan defeating AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe. Sorry, I'm exhaling. Obviously the best match of the night. I was mentioning earlier about, these chamber matches. They can either be really good or really sloppy. Granted, the type of talent you have in the ring. You could core group of talent in this ring. This match was good from the get-go. You knew this match was going to be good. And let's see. I'm trying to remember who went in order. It was Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan comes out and says, I don't need to be in this match. And then the referees throw out Rowan. Daniel Bryan starts the match by trying to avoid Joe. Which, I don't like that he's doing that. I don't like that they're trying to make him to the pussy character. Like, make him, let him do his thing where he's playing, the whole, let's go green character, but make him more of a badass. Don't make him a chicken shit heel. I don't like that. I don't like that for his character. Third one was... Who the fuck was the third one? It was Kofi Kingston. After that was Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Orton. Daniel Bryan eliminated Hardy. Who eliminated who after that? The Orton eliminated AJ. AJ eliminated Joe. Orton eliminated AJ, and then Kofi eliminated Orton, which I guess is kind of like a way to close a storyline, because you remember back in 2009, Kofi, when he was starting to get pushed, his push got derailed, due to Randy. I don't remember what happened exactly. I just remember there was a match that they were having. I think Kofi botched something, and Randy just started stomping him and yelling at him and calling him stupid. And that's when his push got derailed. So, yeah, it came down to Kofi and Daniel Bryan. And the whole place was fucking ape shit for Kofi. There wasn't a person that wasn't cheering for Kofi. They love Kofi. And if anyone doesn't remember, he replaced Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali had a injury. I think I forgot what it was, but there was a second where I thought Kofi was going to win. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to win because he literally just got added to the match. But I don't know. There was a second where I thought he was going to win. And, it was really good back and forth, false count or false count. Here's what kind of confused me. When Daniel Bryan had Kofi in a label lock, Kofi ends up grabbing the rope and he's able to save himself and break the hold. In an Elimination Chamber match, isn't it supposed to be no holds barred, no DQ? So by that meaning no, was it rope breaks? I don't know. That's just me. I'm confused as anyone else would be. I would assume in a no DQ match, you need to get out of the hold on your own. You can't grab the rope. But yeah, that's just me. The last 30 seconds of the match, Kofi goes for a crazy, off the pod move. He lands on Daniel Bryan's knees. Daniel Bryan goes for the flying kick. I forgot what it's called, flying goat kick. Goes to the pin, 1, 2, 3. The whole stadium goes quiet. The energy was sucked out of the building because of Daniel Bryan. And again, I don't think anyone thought Kofi was going to win. But after the match, it was a nice little moment where everybody was saying, thank you, Kofi. Good job, Kofi. And New Day came in and talked to Kofi. It's a pretty emotional moment. And then tonight on Smackdown, it was announced that Kofi would face Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. And it looks like that might be the main event. So for the first time, Kofi will actually be main eventing a pay-per-view. It looks like it, because so far the only two matches announced are SmackDown matches. I haven't really heard about anything that's happening on Raw, because more than likely Seth's not going to be on it, because Seth wasn't on the pay-per-view, the other night. He's apparently hurt. He apparently legit got hurt. He's not going to show up on the pay-per-view. Who else? Who else from Raw? Yeah, that's about it. I mean, when you look at it, that looks like that might be the match that'll main event the pay-per-view. I mean, it's Fastlane, granted, but Kofi's never been a part of a big match, like a really big time match. He's gonna main event a pay-per-view. It's gonna be for the WWE Championship. I mean, I'm trying to think of a match that he might have been a part of. What was that pay-per-view that it was supposed to be an offshoot of Survivor Series? Bragging Rights? There you go, Bragging Rights. And I believe he main evented that pay-per-view. Hold up, I'm gonna have to do some inspection real quick. Okay, so 2009 Bragging Rights. Bragging Rights 2009. Okay. Man, this was a shit ton long ago. Alright, main events. Oh, actually, that wasn't the main event. Okay, no, that wasn't the main event at all. My bad. Yeah, Kofi has never been a part of a main event. He's never been in the main event of anything. I guess if you want to count the Royal Rumble as a main event, but I'm talking about like a straight up match, like a straight up main event match, where you get to headline the whole show. Good for him. He's been in the company. Well, he's been in the company for a lot longer than how long he's been on the main roster. He debuted on the main roster in 2008 for the ECW brand, and that's when he did the whole Jamaican gimmick. So he's been on the main roster for 11 years. He's been a part of the company for a lot longer. I'm sure. Let me look at Kofi Kingston's career. I'm on Wikipedia. They're usually pretty on point with their shit. He debuted as a wrestler in June 4th, 2005. He got trained by Killer Kowalski. That's interesting. He lives in Austin, Texas. That's random. Okay. World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's see. All territories. He's assigned to Deep South Wrestling. Okay. And then Florida Championship Wrestling, and then he debuted on ECW. Well, actually, no. Wait. Kofi Kingston debuted. Oh, he debuted in December 6, 2007. So he's actually been on the main roster for 12 years. Okay. It's a long time. And this is his first ever WWE Championship match. And his first ever he's the first ever main event he's been a part of a pay-per-view. Huh. That's pretty nuts. Good for Kofi. Kofi, you hear about him, he's one of the most liked guys on the back. You never hear a bad word about Kofi Kingston. Obviously he's not going to win. There's no chance in hell Kofi Kingston's going to win this match. It'll be a big match. It'll be a really fun match. It'll be a really good match, a good wrestling match. You have two very different styles. You have Daniel Bryan, who's the mat wrestler, he's the technical wrestler, and then you have Kofi, who's the kind of aerial wrestler. Lately he's become more more of a technician in the ring, but you kind of have to when you get up there in age, you kind of have to change your style a little bit. But again, I love Kofi, but I see no scenario where he wins. That's just my opinion. And then there's talk of WWE possibly wanting to bring in a returning wrestler to face Daniel Bryan. A lot of names that were thrown out were Kevin Owens, which I think Kevin Owens would be interesting because you got Kevin Owens, who his lifestyle contradicts Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's all about saving the earth and eating right and not eating meat. Whereas Kevin Owens, he does the opposite of that. He eats junk food. And, you think of the promos, you got Daniel Bryan, what he's doing right now with his promos, they're awesome. Kevin Owens can talk. Am I right? He can do more than talk. He can bring out emotion in people. Not just the fans, but wrestlers. So I think that'd be a really good feud. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And John Draper threw out the suggestion of Bray Wyatt, which I'm like, I seriously hope not, but I have a feeling that might be true. I seriously hope it's not Bray Wyatt. Please keep Bray Wyatt away from WrestleMania. Please keep him away from anyone. I think Kurt Angle was a choice, which I don't want to see Kurt Angle wrestle anymore. It just looks very depressing because Kurt Angle from 10 years ago. I wouldn't mind, but Kurt Angle now, no, I don't want to see that. No. I think Batista was a choice. That'd be pretty interesting. But would they beat him? I mean, out of all those choices, I would rather see Kevin Owens because it just seems like a better choice. It seems like a better feud. Because to be fair, we've never actually seen Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan on the main roster. I mean, last year at Mania, you had that tag match, but that was a tag match. We haven't actually seen like a straight up feud between just these two. I would love to see that. So, and Kevin Owens, supposedly, he's coming back next month. So, I mean, yeah, that's my WrestleMania choice. That's my WrestleMania pony for Daniel Bryan. Yeah, but as far as the pay-per-view goes, I give it a 7.5. 7 out of 10. There you go. 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't a terrible pay-per-view, but it wasn't amazing. So, what's the next bit of news I can get into? Let me talk about this whole Paige shit. She did an interview, apparently from a few years ago, where she says, basically the WWE is not holding women back, and it's never held women back. It's the fans. It was never WWE holding women back, Paige said. It was the fans not taking them seriously. They wanted to see more of the male characters many years ago. It was a male-dominated sport. When I first started, there were only 5 women there. It was a struggle, but WWE just believed in us. When I got into the ring, I wanted to prove to the fans that girls were capable of having good matches, and sometimes even better. This is kind of my mission from the get-go. Now there's obviously a revolution. And, of course, she got, lampooned on Twitter. Somebody says a lot about Real Paige. Okay, if you read it, I said many years ago, not now. Even up to a few years ago, certain places we would wrestle in, the fans in big arenas would chant boring to the girls or start the wave or for years chanted, we want puppies. So it was an absolute mixture of both. It's like, okay, you're going to backpedal on your words. And then fans back then would call us toilet breaks. It was only when the female superstars would go themselves to change the way anyone perceived us. It's like, yeah. So yeah, it's our fault. It's not the company's fault that never took women seriously and would cut their matches and wouldn't let them do shit. As a matter of fact, oh come on, you gotta be kidding me! And I just had the page up. Hold on, I need to look for this fucking page again because I lost it. Oh man, I think I need to wrap this up after this because I'm getting sick. Where the hell is it? Are you kidding me? Come on. Please don't tell me that this person took off their tweet. I am trying to look for this person, and I cannot find said person. Are you kidding me? Okay. From a person named Boris, he said, since Paige claims WWE never held women back, here are some of the struggles that divas went through back in the day. I have it on my phone, so I don't know if y'all be able to hear it. Michelle McCool saying how she and Melina were yelled backstage for being better than the guys. Michelle McCool and Victoria having to redo their matches because their punches look too good. Which actually, that's what they said about the Michelle McCool-Melina one. And it doesn't say what the pay-per-view was, and Michelle McCool can't remember what it was, but basically they had a pretty good match, and the next day the agents were saying, that was crazy, the moves looked too good. Which, too good, come on. Melina and Ashley almost getting their WrestleMania match cut. Their match still didn't get more than 3 minutes. I mean, again, it's Melina and Ashley. I mean, it's Ashley Massaro, but I mean, yeah, still, I mean, they get the point. Like Cool and Trish almost getting their WrestleMania match cut as well, and having to rush through at the last minute. I wouldn't think that match would have gotten canceled because the whole point of it was to bring in, people who watch Jersey Shore because Snooki was in the match. The Bella Twins and the Funkadactyls getting their WrestleMania match cut because The Undertaker and CM Punk went overtime. I think I remember that. Tori Wilson and other women begging to use weapons and get more physical, but not being allowed to do it. Let me see if it can play on here. Hold on.
Whoever was putting our match together, can I please get hit with a chair? Like I wanted to be thrown into the stair. I wanted.
Can you hear that? Okay.
That, but they would never let me do that. Obviously.
Yeah.
But at least I feel like if I gave it 100%, then I gotta feel good about that. And when I was learning to wrestle, it was those things like, oh, you have a match tonight. You have like 5 minutes. You need to learn some moves.
Yeah.
Right? They don't do that anymore. Now they're like going to wrestling school for years.
Right.
So hence the amazing matches on the cage.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm like, oh, I need to learn a couple moves. Like, which eventually that repertoire got built up. But,
But it is painful, too. I know that you endured a lot of pain and back surgeries, too.
I had one back surgery.
One back surgery.
Yeah.
Which is one enough.
All right. Hopefully you guys heard that. Let's see what else. Nikki saying how her match with AJ, which was supposed to go for 15 minutes, got cut to 30 seconds, and how they explained her storyline with Brie without no explanation. I remember that because that storyline was that Nikki, what was it? I think the storyline, like Brie had a storyline with Stephanie, and then Stephanie won, and then Nikki turned heel, and Nikki beat Brie in a match, and Brie had to be her servant or whatever. And then out of nowhere, Brie becomes heel, and they never really explained it. They just said, "Oh, she's my sister." So, yeah, that match I remember because I had a match, and it was like for 30 seconds, and then I remember Brie she kissed AJ on the lips, and then Nikki won. So it was like, how was that possible? And then another match, Michelle McCool being forced to stop using her finisher, the one Mandy Rose uses now, because it was too devastating for the girls. I got the quote right here. Wings of Love, yes, I haven't used it in some time now because that was not by my choice. Truth is, I'm not allowed to use it anymore. Apparently, it was too devastating for us girls. Seriously, the only good thing about that is that I debuted a new one on Maurice this weekend, and believe me, I think you'll be impressed. I have to keep it under wraps for now until I use it on TV. Hopefully, it's not too rough for us girls. And then a couple more I'm just going to breeze by. Gail Kim saying how they had to get moves like a superplex approved, even on Superstars, which that's fucking insane. Who the hell watches Superstars? Trish Stratus loses her in title because she wouldn't because she wouldn't kiss Tori Wilson as she thought it didn't fit her character. This was in early 2002 on Smackdown, and it cost her the Women's Championship. She said Stephanie McMahon wanted me to crawl on Tori. Of course it was Stephanie. I said I'd kiss her on the cheek, but Stephanie didn't think it was sexy enough. She wanted me to kiss her on the lips. I didn't feel like I was in a position to say no, so I kept saying I'd do it, but just not with a sexy kiss on the lips. That didn't go well, and Stacey Keebler ended up doing it instead. That was just too risque for me. The thing is, Mickey and I kissed. I kissed Lita, so kissing is a thing. It's about the storyline. I'd do anything, including barking like a dog, and it makes sense for my character. And at that point, my character had nothing to do with Tori, so I didn't think she would kiss her. My character wasn't built around being a sexy person. And she's right. Just fast forward to it. This segment was filmed on a Tuesday for SmackDown. I was champion, so I went home. Came to the next show Monday, and I lost the title to Clean the Jazz. Was I being punished? Who knows? I was never told. That's why I lost. It was a little strange that WrestleMania in my hometown of Toronto was coming up, and all of a sudden I wasn't going in as champion. I remember that she lost the title to Jazz. I don't even think she won at Mania. I think Jazz beat her, and then she ended up winning it after that. Molly Holly searching to get her head shaved just so the WrestleMania card could have a women's title match. And who can forget when they had 24 women past and present competing at WrestleMania and decided to give a man the win just because they thought it was funny? Oh, yeah. Santana, I think that's her name. Victoria being told women weren't allowed to bleed because no one wanted to see it either. Naomi being told she was too athletic and that she shouldn't do high flying moves in order not to touch.
8-year-old tag. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So I remember wrestling, we would get short matches. All of us girls back then always kind of pushing and trying to and wanting and asking for more. Just never really. It wasn't the
8-year-old tags, so you get 5 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
And I remember being told that's too athletic. They don't want the girls wrestling like the guys. That's too.
I had heard that before.
I was specifically told that you're too athletic. You need to bring it down. They don't want the girls punching each other in the face. They pull hair, do girl stuff, cat fight, Luthes, stuff like that. So when I saw what was going on in NXT and the Revolution and those girls came up who was just could go, you know what I mean, and who were so talented, I was like, hell yeah, this is what we want. This is what we want to show. We're more than just beauty and brains. We can kick ass too, So that was really exciting. I was excited for the opportunity to be on their level, honestly.
Be a legit.
All right. And a storyline where Michael Cole was interrupting and telling the Divas their bathroom breaks and that they don't matter. Trying to see if they put anything else. I think this is a story. Oh yeah, I didn't even know this one. Mickie James was practically in tears as she exited the ring with her second women's championship in 2006. While a disgusted Lita remained in the ring, venting her outrage at the disrespectful fans in Philadelphia. That is until Crime Time Shad JTG came out and with a carton of her personal items. Having stolen them from her dressing room prior to the match, they declared a wholesale on Lita's panties, an ointment to combat yeast infections, and even her box. What kind of box? Which JTG declared was a cheap and wide, and you can put your head in it. As a humiliated Diva left the ring one last time, a few of her loyalists can be heard shouting, "Thank you, Lita." That I remember. I remember watching that Survivor Series. Basically with Paige, she's an idiot. She's gonna get fired. The talk is that they're slowly getting ready to get rid of her. They're just waiting for this movie, for all the press, to be finished with this movie, which supposedly is doing really well, which that means I have to see it. I'm going to have to see it for this show. So they're getting ready to move her out, which I hope is pretty soon, because what else do you have for Paige after this? You have nothing. I mean, she supposedly wants to be a manager, which I guess, but she's wrong. She's wrong on this. And I tweeted at her. I just said, do you remember when they gave Natalya a farting gimmick? But no, it's the fans' fault, because we wanted her to have a farting gimmick, and she wasn't farting well enough. Do you remember the matches being 3 or 4 minutes long? I remember being a wrestling fan, and I love wrestling. I want to watch wrestling, whether it's women or men. And I just remember the women were always treated as kind of like an attraction. Because it started with Sable, and Sable was not a good wrestler by any means. Back then you had, the workhorses Tori, Ivory. You had Jacqueline. You had someone like Jazzy who can go in there and beat the fuck out of people. And eventually had Trish. Trish started out as eye candy, and then the story is that she wanted to get better, and then she trained with Fit Family to get better. You had Lita, you had Victoria, you had you had Molly Holly. I'm trying to think of who else. Back then the company just, it's a man's sport. I mean, now it's changed because now you have women that, you have more athletic women on the roster because you had a lot of women that actually watched wrestling back then and wanted to be just like that. And then you have, with Stephanie McMahon, it just shows she never gave a shit about the women. She never gave a shit about the women's division or women's wrestling. She's only looking at this as something she can latch onto and say, haha, I did it. It was all me. It's like, where the fuck were you when, you had all these bra and panties matches and evening gown matches and pudding matches? It's like, it's like Trish said, Stephanie told her, you have to kiss this person on the lips and it has to be sexy. It wasn't until AJ Lee called Stephanie out on Twitter saying, give Divas a chance. And you have not heard from AJ since then. So, in closing, it's not my fault, Paige. I've wanted to see good wrestling from the women. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie and try to sound like I'm innocent. Yeah, I did refer to the women's matches as pee breaks. But then again, look who you had on the main roster, from, 10 years ago? In fact, let me look it up right now. Let me look it up, the WWE roster from 2008. Let's see if this computer will load. Okay, WWE roster. Just pick a random year. 2008. Okay, I don't care about the draft. I just want to see the roster. That's really all I want to see. It keeps asking me if I want to see the fucking draft lottery. I don't care about the draft lottery. List of WWE personnel. What the fuck? Okay, it's not showing me shit. Let's see if it's on here. It's taking me to the Raw and Smackdown game. Okay. Let's look at the women they have in the game. Ashley Mazzaro. No. No. She was not very good. Let's make it easier on myself. Divas. Okay. Ashley, no. Candice Michelle, no. Kelly, hell no. Melina, she was good. Michelle McCool, she was good. Mickie James was good. And then Tori Wilson. Out of 7 women, there's 3 women that are actually good. The rest were complete shit. So, how are you going to say it's our fault that they didn't get a fair shake when the majority of the women on the show were just, the plastic, blonde-haired Barbie doll? So, I don't know. I don't get where Paige is coming from, because this isn't the first time she's made a lot of these comments. If you remember the whole thing with Liv Morgan, where she pretty much blamed the Riot Squad for what happened. And, of course, sticking up for the Bellas. But Paige is obviously wrong. She's an idiot. I mean, I was going through this list with my girlfriend, and she was just pissed off. So, Paige is an idiot. It's late, so I can't come up with anything witty to say besides Paige is an idiot. As a matter of fact, that'll be the title for the episode, Paige is an idiot. Raw and SmackDown, I mean, what else is there to say? Raw had a shitty crowd. You bring up these 4 NXT people, and it's like they couldn't give 2 fucks. You bring them over to SmackDown. I mean, I guess it counts for the city because Raw was in Lafayette, Louisiana, and SmackDown was in New Orleans, which is the main city. So if you're going to debut guys from NXT, debut them in bigger cities. Like New Orleans, Louisiana, or Chicago, or, Austin or Dallas or something like that. SmackDown wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. Where the fuck is R-Truth? He's supposed to be the U.S. champion. He's supposed to supposedly be at home recovering after that brutal, and I'm using, air quotations, brutal attack by Rusev and Nakamura, who, again, wasn't on the show. And, I don't know. Going back to the Raw with the NXT guys, was it Aleister Black, Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa all debuted on Raw, which it's only a one-time thing, I guess, to help out with the ratings. DIY defeated the Revival in a match, not for the tag titles. I didn't get to see Raw, unfortunately. Ricochet debuted helping out Finn Balor against Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush, which again, Rush ended up getting pinned, not Lashley, again. And then Aleister Black debuted defeating Elias. On SmackDown, Aleister Black debuted defeating Andrade Cien Almas, which it was a fun match. If anyone remembers, they wrestled at NXT TakeOver last year, in which Aleister Black won the NXT title. They used to have pretty good chemistry. Because if you look at it, it's, Andrade has that traditional, lucha style, whereas Aleister is more of a strike. What's the word I'm trying to look for? He's all about kicking. He's a mat wrestler. So it was a pretty good match. I thought it was kind of funny because I forgot that he's married to Zelina Vega, which is Andrade's manager. So it's like she has to cheer for her guy to beat the shit out of her husband. So it's an interesting couple. Ricochet debuted fighting Eric Young from Sanity, which I looked at. Apparently, Sanity debuted in, what is it, like August or September, and they have not been seen on television since then. I might be getting the facts wrong, but apparently they have not been on TV since September, which that sucks because Sanity was actually a pretty good gimmick over in NXT. I don't know why they can't use them or they don't want to use them. I don't see what the point is of bringing them on the main roster and not using them. And then the fact that you take Nikki Cross away from them, which I don't get why they do that shit. So yeah, Eric Young comes out, faces Ricochet. The match was what it was. It wasn't terrible, but it was an okay match. And then you had DIY, which I'm just going to call him DIY, versus The Bar. Another pretty good match. There was this kind of a scary moment in the match where Ciampa is going for like a sunset flip, or what's it called? I think Eddie Guerrero had a similar move. It was called Tequila Sunrise or some bullshit like that. He's basically trying to go for a powerbomb, and then he lands on his injured knee wrong. So, and I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard about him if he's going to be out for some time. But basically, yeah, the video, he falls on his leg, and it looks pretty grody. He was able to finish the match. Yeah, again, I didn't hear any reports about him being re-injured. Again, I hope he's okay, because that would suck if he has to take time off again. Especially drop that title. That would suck. What else? The main event, 6-man tag match. Again, it was okay. And then afterwards, Kofi Kingston got the pin on Daniel Bryan again. Shane McMahon comes out and makes the match for Fastlane, Kofi versus Daniel. So where does that leave the rest of the other guys? Because you have AJ, Samoa, Randy, and Jeff Hardy doing nothing. So, do you just put him in a tag match, or do you just leave him off the pay-per-view? I mean, I get why you need to leave Seth off the pay-per-view because he's hurt. And, Brock's not going to just come into a random pay-per-view for no reason. He's going to want money. But, what do you do with AJ? I mean, because I think AJ is going to wrestle Randy at Mania. That's the way it looks, because they've been feuding for a bit. They've been kind of planting seeds for a feud between the two. So I think they're going to fight at Mania. Samoa Joe, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him anymore. I mean, at this point in Samoa Joe's career with the company, this is as far as he's going to go. He's just going to be the brute. He's just going to be the guy that goes in there and beats the shit out of people, makes them submit. He's never going to be a champion, that's for sure. Because, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. He's injury prone. He gets hurt a lot. Ever since he's been on the main roster, he's been hurt at least maybe 2 or 3 times. And there were times where he was starting to climb up the ladder, and then he got hurt. So, for the WWE, they're not going to trust a guy to be the face of their company, or one of the faces of their company, when you can't trust him to stay healthy. And also, I think because he's in his 40s, and again, AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is not injury prone. AJ Styles is reliable. Jeff Hardy at this point, and I love Jeff Hardy. I've always been a Jeff Hardy mark, but Jeff Hardy, I don't see him ever being in a championship picture. I don't see him ever holding a title for a while. He's just there to make other guys look good, which there's no shame in that. And, I don't know what else to say about Fastlane. Fastlane is just there, which I don't think there should be a pay-per-view in March until Mania. Matter of fact, I think Elimination Chamber should be the only pay-per-view happening after Rumble before Mania. Because Fastlane just doesn't make sense. It just seems like it's just going to be a random pay-per-view. So, I don't know, that's just me. I think Mish made the idea of there just not being a pay-per-view after Royal Rumble until Mania. So that way you build up the feuds, make them more tense. They actually mean something, which, hey, I'm down for that. That'd be awesome. Giving that old school feel to it. What else? Did enough wrestling talk. I honestly don't want to talk about the Corey Graves Carmella thing. I mean, that's kind of done to death. We'll talk a little bit about it, I guess. But yeah, Corey Graves' estranged wife, said that he's been having feud. He's been having an affair with Carmella, who's actually their kid's role model, and she's been posting a lot of weird shit on social media since then, videos of Carmella saying happy birthday to their daughter, and, text messages, private text messages between them, of Corey pretty much telling his wife, you need to take this down, WWE's going to sue you, and she's pretty much saying, I don't give a fuck. The truth is that they supposedly have been separated for a long time, for a few months actually, and they're just now getting divorced. So, not to say that maybe Carmella didn't have something to do with it. Maybe she found out and she wanted to keep quiet for a bit until she found out the actual facts around it. And then as soon as she found everything out, that's when she posted it. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate because if you guys remember on those was it ESPN had a documentary on NXT, which one of them was Corey Graves, and it showed him and his wife. They seemed like a nice couple. His wife seemed like she was a very nice lady, and Corey always came off as likable until recently. So this sucks for them. I feel bad for the kids. To really to fuck with Carmella, I don't know if that's the... I don't know. I mean, is she a homewrecker? Yes. I mean, obviously, they were doing this during their marriage. I mean, again, this... I don't know, this maybe what kind of kickstarted their separation. So, she fucked around with a married man. That's... What else can you say? There's no way to defend her behavior. There's no way to justify it. She just fucked around. Plain and simple. She shouldn't have, and she did. And, I mean, how else can you punish her? I mean, because she's already, like, way down the totem pole. She's with R-Truth, and R-Truth is the U.S. champion. He hasn't even showed up in, 2 weeks? And she's obviously never going to be a world women's champion again. And she was never even going to win the tag titles. So, that's really all I want to speak about it, because it's been kind of done to death. I guess that's really about it. I kind of want to cut it short because it's getting real late, and I'm hungry, but I'm tired at the same time. I don't know if I should eat something or just drink something before I go to bed. I'll edit this show and I'll upload it when I wake up in the morning, because I'm just gonna edit it and then upload it in the morning, or just edit it when I wake up. All right, plugs. Or I'll plug myself first. Spreaker, you know the deal. Every Wednesday is a new episode. Every now and then I'll do an extra episode, another day in the week. Other plugs, Wrestling Soup, DTKC. Make sure you check out their patrons. For just $5, you can get some extra shit. Our good friend Trez, she's recovering. She had a car accident not too long ago, and she's telling me that she's doing pretty well. So which I'm hoping that she has a full recovery. And catch her on Dark Chronicles with Kev on Patreon. Texas Podcast Massacre. If you love horror movies, if you're a horror junkie like me, you'll love their podcast. They even review the bad ones, and there's a lot of bad horror movies. And they're fucking hilarious when they review that shit. And Wrestling Court with Julian Cannon, my boy. And what else? Architect Podcast with Devin and... Or not... why did I say Devin? It's late. Derek and his friend, which his name escapes me at the moment. And... that's about it. Wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, make sure you leave a nice review for me on iTunes, a rating. Sorry. Yeah, that's really about it. I'm going to get off, guys. I'm tired. Anyways,